Hi everyone, I'm Kieran Woodsmith from 81 Vintage and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be taking children's toys and turning them into high-end decor. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I'm posting a new video every day throughout the month of January and I'm really hoping to get to that 2,000 subscribers mark in the not too distant future.
So this is another great scrap wood project where you can use scrap wood to create bases for items, whether they're anatomy figures or anything else. And I just use the router table to router over the edges. I have the router table set up all the time with a round over bit just because that's what I use most. I then use the sander just to smooth out those edges, and that is your base ready. I then make a bunch of them and I like to spray paint them all together. So I'm using some matte black spray paint here, and I usually like to spray the edges of the pieces together because you waste a lot less spray paint, but you do get black hand if you don't wear a glove. I then like to distress them using the orbital sander, and I use a 220 grit sandpaper not to remove too much. And then it's my old favourite trick of adding the lacquer over the black, which gives a really antique look and feel. This video has been really hard to film and edit. There's been a lot of corrupt footage and a lot of difficult editing, so I do hope that you enjoy it. I was starting to think somebody didn't want me to tell you about this great secret. And in the corner there you can see my custom order. And that turns into this great circus sign, and I'll do a video at some point about how I make these.
If you're watching this video when it first came out, you know that yesterday there wasn't a video because I was working on a custom order. Now, I don't usually take custom orders, but I thought I would give a little bit of a run through why I don't and how I find they best work when I do. Before I get into that, I'd just like to say welcome to all of the new subscribers who have joined along recently. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I'd really like to get to know you all a little bit more, so let me know down in the comments box what types of hobbies and interests you have, whether you make things to sell or whether you make things at all, or whether you make things just for yourself. Because for me, my business started by making things for myself that I then started to sell, and we did this so we could get on the property market and could afford a deposit towards a house. We very quickly realised that we didn't really like to do custom orders. They can be a really great thing to add to your business, but for me, I always felt I was working to somebody else's expectations. And I really like the journey of just sort of making something and seeing where it ends up. And at the end, hopefully, it's sellable. So it's very rare for me to do custom work, but on this, the person had already seen the piece. It was an item that I'd created in the shop, and they'd seen that one, it had sold, and then we didn't have any more. So they inquired about one, and I said I do have some more that I can create. This would be the price, and if you're interested, let me know. Now, years ago, if that person had said, yes, I'd like that item, or yes, I'd like to go forward, I would have just started work on that piece. Whereas now I've learned the most important thing is to take a deposit. Even if it's only a small amount, it means that item's more likely to go through. And the other reason for taking this custom order is because it's going to allow me to expand my business into a new business area, and I'll be posting more exciting details on that soon, so do keep an eye out for those. Now let's jump back to the project.
So when the anatomy figures come, they obviously come brand new, and I'm looking for a much more aged appearance. So I like to use a mix of burnt umber and white ordinary household paint and apply a good coat over the anatomy figure, and that just gives it an appearance of age. Then I come back with a cloth before it's dry and I just dab it off all the excess paint so that I'm leaving behind a good amount of residue that just looks like it's been handled for years. Now, I usually buy these anatomy figures from eBay. They're not too expensive, and I usually get them for around about £10 each, which means that there's not a huge profit in them because I usually sell the smaller ones for about £22, but it is worth the effort, especially to just add a different price point to my items. And the anatomy figures come in lots of different sizes and shapes and with lots of different details and levels of body parts. And while I'm working on these pieces, I'm just in awe of the human body and what a miraculous thing it is. You can really see lots of the detail and how we're made up. And on this chap, he had 2 left feet, quite literally. It was at this point I was working on a different figure and wasn't quite getting the effect that I wanted, and I realised I could be using ye old dust to add in that extra depth of age that I was looking for. If you're interested in ye old dust, check out ferniepaint.co.uk or .com. Usually there's one of 2 ways that I will mount the anatomy figures onto their base plinths. Where I can, I'll drill through the base and then attach them with little screws, which is my favourite fixing because it's much more secure. Otherwise I'll use some strong epoxy adhesive to secure it to the base plinth. Then you have the challenge of putting the piece back together and figuring out where all those parts fit, and then you can sit back and enjoy the reveal, and this is how they came out. I'm really pleased with them and I think they'll be a great addition to the market. I'm going to later this year.
I hope you like how this project came out, and if you did, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I'm posting a new video every day throughout the month of January, and I'm hoping to get to that 2,000 subscribers mark in the not too distant future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.